Hey, yo, lo. What's going on, friends? How's it going? It's another exciting episode, this time titled Inside Madness. Episode officially correctly numbered 115. Shawn the Butcher, Vertebrae33 in Madness Pod. How's it going?
Yeah, 115. See, Shawn, that has weight.
It honestly, this process has felt a lot better and more gratifying and less confusing going on a regular number system. And yeah, it does. It adds some heft to those.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed that these two dimwits could get together 100 times to record episodes of the podcast. But it's awesome. I'm excited to be here. This is a big one. We got a lot of stuff to talk about.
There's a lot to go on, and 3 seconds before we sign on Vertebrae, it's like, oh, we got to hit this too. So we got a lot to get to. So thank you for joining us for the premiere podcast, In Madness Pod. This is Inside Madness, our little in-between movie episode. We are on the socials at In Madness Pod, inmadnesspod@gmail.com to hit us in the mail sack. We will jump in the mail sack today, and it looks like we have one from the penitentiary. You could check us out on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe, comment, give us the 5-star reviews every single week. Make sure you do all of that. And I don't know if I gave the email address, inmadnesspod@gmail.com, to hit us in the mail sack. We have the In Madness Spotify playlist, which is growing after every single episode. I can't imagine what songs we will be adding after this. Quickly, I want to mention, I didn't understand your crash test dummies joke in the moment, but upon re-listening to the episode, was for the M theme.
Yes,
I didn't get it, but I was like, what the hell is this dude talking about?
Yeah.
And then in hindsight, I was like, absolutely brilliant, hilarious joke. So with that, I will add crash test dummies to In Madness Spotify playlist, which grows every single episode. Happy In Madness Monday. If that's when you're listening, the numbers are growing. I was told from Vertebrae, because I never dare to look at the numbers because it will destroy my ego if it doesn't go the way I want. So make sure you spread the madness. Tell everybody you know about this show, and you can get yourself a shirt and a mug at inmadness.com. What mug do you have for this episode, Vertebrae?
Oh, Shawn, I got a mug just for you. This mug is gigantic. It's hard to hold.
Oh my God. Oh, cool.
This is a Long Island, New York mug.
Wow.
Look at this thing. It's gigantic. I got to spill coffee all over.
You got Levittown on there, Merrick on there, I'm sure. Oh, Amityville. I see Amityville. Wow. I like that there's a house for Amityville. Is it the house?
It's got to be. Yeah. This thing is gigantic. I was trying to find it, and it was actually somewhere for an earlier episode. And then I was like, oh, there it is. And I was like, why don't I use that mug? And then I was like, oh, man. So I made coffee for this episode, and I made a gallon of coffee. So if you got anything you want me to watch tonight when we're done, Shawn, just tell me, because I will be awake to watch it.
For this episode of Inside Madness, we have a lot to cover. So it's 4 main things. So shall we get to our very first one? We recently covered The Ring for episode 113 and 114. One of my favorite episodes, one of my favorite movies. It seemed to strike a chord with the In Madness family as well. Everyone seemed to be into this freaky ass movie, but you and I both came to the realization we never saw the original, or didn't remember if we saw the original. I could at least. So we decided we would both watch it and cover it really quick for our Inside Madness in between movies episode. So we're not going to do a full episode on the original Ring, but quickly just go through it. I mean, it starts kind of exactly like the American version. It's pretty much very well done. It's pretty much the same movie, with the effects a little more amplified, I feel, in the American one.
Yeah, there's a lot in the beginning that feels like they went shot for shot a little bit on the American remake. And then there are kind of key plot points and things like the ending that go in a completely different direction. One of the things, Shawn, one of the big things is no horses. There are no horses in this film.
There was a lot of not, in the original that was in the American version, but I feel like it added more depth in the American version. I mean, I'll just say it now. I feel like the American version was better than the original version, which is nothing to be ashamed about. But that's also my personal opinion. I just feel like it had more like depth and like, you
So
know,
what's interesting, a couple points. I don't know if you want to go through this beat for beat, or I
go
could just
ahead.
bring up
Go
some
ahead.
things that I noticed.
Yeah.
One, the creepy little boy is still a weird little creepy boy in the
But not
original,
not so creepy, way less creepy
but
than
he's well put together
yeah.
and he does his own thing. There is, however, a grandfather in this who plays into the plot later on, and we'll get to it when we get to the end, but also is fishing with the boy and he's more involved, which I think that's part of what the American version doesn't do well, that they're so isolated and we just have the crappy dad. We got the crappy dad in this too, but explains where the boy is the whole time, which they kind of just gloss over. We even get the little boy laying on the floor just like he is in the other thing, but like in a Japanese house, right? That makes more sense than it does. There are a few things they did in the American version that I think they just did as nods to the original, and they kind of didn't need to. Like some things they strayed, and other things I think like you could have just done your own thing. But there are a few things I want to talk about, but I want to hear some of your points when
So,
you
I
were
mean, what
watching.
let me know that I definitely did see this before is when the moment happens in the
Mhm.
original with the first girl and it goes to like the black and white screen and she's just like, "Oh," I was like, "Oh, I remember this." Like that was the shot and I was
Oh,
like,
so
"Oh
you
yeah."
did see it.
So I definitely have seen it before, but I probably wasn't paying as close attention as I was for this Inside Madness episode.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's the lady's also a reporter. I mentioned here the kid is like way less creepy than Aiden, in my
Mhm.
opinion, but he's also got the strange link with the girl that died. It plays out just the same with him in her room at her funeral and the mom coming to take him out of her room. But
Mhm.
again, he's way less creepy than Aiden.
Yeah, and there's a weird moment with the dad, the bad dad, who has ESP, right? And has this link, but there's some weird moment with this girl in white shoes, which I didn't understand. And the dad sort of questions himself and whether he has anything to do with this. Did he do this? I think is what he says. Thought that was really strange. I think the video that they watch in the American version is weirder and way more over the top than in the original version. Although the dude with like the towel on his head and stuff is
It plays into it, yeah. That
for
and
sure.
the big corpse reveal, okay? It's not as extreme as the American version. However, I was waiting for it. I'm like, when does it happen? When does it happen? And when it happened, even though it wasn't as scary, I still jumped a little bit. Like it still catches you by surprise and kind of like makes you kind of sick.
Right.
But it wasn't nearly as graphic, but it doesn't even matter. Like the gravity of the moment and like the quickness with which it happens is really, I feel, what like knocked me out of my friggin' seat.
So I'll go through a couple things kind of as I did beat for beat as I'm watching it, and then stop me if there's something you thought about this too. But one, they have a Polaroid that they use is to see it, and you could be like, oh, I have a blurry face, which is a really cool plot device. Like you could instantaneously just see it. Now it'd be obviously on somebody's phone, but I thought that was neat. Um, when they're analyzing the video, bad mom and dad closer, his student comes in, right? But like that's probably not his student. Like he's probably having a relationship with her, which they extend into the American version as well. Which I mean, you probably could have gone without that
Mm-hmm.
actually to have it in the American. And then there's audio in there. They're analyzing and they hear something, Shawn, and they figure it out. Frolic in the brine, goblins be thine.
Pretty sick rhyme.
Right. So we get it. Oh, and you just rhymed at the
Yeah,
end.
and
So
that should be
there's
in a
that.
song. I gotta see if that's in a song. If it is, maybe we'll put it on the Id
Right.
Madness
A
playlist.
saying from the island. We get some newspaper investigation in this. We don't get this is they're light on investigative bits in this one, Shawn. The
Bummer,
American
bummer for
version,
poor Vertebrae.
way more.
Um,
We get this whole story about a volcano.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and then the lady who predicted the
Yeah.
volcano would happen. Yes.
Yeah.
I did want to quickly say,
Mm-hmm.
with the blurry pictures, it's still the similar story where she follows the pictures to the cabin.
Right.
The cabin has a killer videotape selection, way more stacked than the cabin in the American version. And I
Mm-hmm.
know most of them are written in Japanese. However, some were not. Were you able to pinpoint any
No.
great
Oh my
movies on
God, I'm
there?
excited. Did you see?
Clearly, one says Jaws.
Oh yeah.
Another, I'm pretty sure, is Indiana Jones because it looks like it in the little picture, but it's written in like
Mm-hmm.
Japanese lettering, but it's kind of like the same like color font and like font. It's so the whole thing is stacked, and I was like, "Whoa, look at all those movies!" So I thought that that
Wow.
was really cool, and I
The
found it
biggest
I found
bummer
it
though,
great that
Shawn.
Jaws was in there.
That's awesome. I missed it. The Sean's digging out gnarly bits. I love it. I always look at the videos of the shelves. I totally missed that one.
That popped
Uh,
me huge.
that's awesome. I big bummer. No innkeeper. Right? We don't see an innkeeper. She just goes to the place and walks in to the cabin. She like walks into this cabin by herself and sits down and watches this tape, starts to doze off on the couch. Once again, just like the American version, these two people could care less where they're barging in or bothering people, or they're so self-absorbed. They're bad parents. I'm going to say with the ending, which we'll talk about in a little bit, bad family members in general. Like they're just bad people once again, and they're barging in. And later on, when we go back to that cabin, he's just smashing away, just like they did at the other one. But this one is like under like a crawl space instead. But yeah, this is so I had no horses. That was
Mhm.
a big thing for me. I did notice that they described this video, Shawn, as not of this world, which means we have to add to the In Madness Spotify playlist Danzig's Not of This World.
Okay, okay, look at you go. I really like that quote, and I feel like we should steal it and make it
Not
like
of This World.
a theme for the In Madness podcast, not of this world. I think
Frolic and Brian, Goblins Be Nine,
that's sick. That's
not
sick.
of this world. You
I mean,
combine them.
come on the back of a t-shirt, In Madness podcast on the front, not of this world on the back. That's sick.
Somebody's got to own it. We will look into. I'll look into it because somebody was got to own it.
As
But
we like to say in the biz, fuck them.
well, yeah. Until you get the cease and desist.
I mean, until we get it, yeah, fuck them.
So I wrote in this my notes. At least this kid has a grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then this reveal, Shawn, of who's handling business. It's the father that kills the girl in this movie, not the
Mm-hmm.
mom.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's the
Big twist.
like on dinosaurs, not the mama. You're not the
Not the
mama.
mama.
Yeah.
One of the biggest scares in this for me was when she does take a picture of herself
Mm-hmm.
and like she looks at the picture and like that her face is all like twisted and distorted. I feel like that's closer to the American version of the original girl's death, like how her face is twisted. I
Yes.
feel like that picture was an inspiration for the scene in the American version, but that picture like scared the crap out of me, the way that they show it, the way that like the music pops in the back. I feel like that was one of the like scariest parts of the movie without a doubt. But
Yeah, one of the kind of like weirdest scenes is their plan. So we go through this whole thing, and then we're going to go back and we discover, that there's this well and it's underneath the cabin and all. But their whole plan in the beginning is that he'll just go down there and they're just bailing out buckets of water. But I have no idea why, and it seems to just go on like there's just random buckets of water, and I'm like, how is she getting in the well? And then we get the whole thing of like she's not strong enough, so she has to to dump them up, pull them up. So you go down there instead. But I don't understand what they were intending to do. If have the well go dry, what does that do for anybody? Were they looking for something? They never kind of clue that in. We get that hair in the water reveal. and she emerges, but it's just like a skull with some like green goo coming out of the eyes. It's really not. The one in the American version is much better than that one. But that bucket scene, Shawn, I was like, man, this is this
Going
is taking forever.
on. Wrap it up, B. Wrap it up. But we mentioned the volcano, the lady who predicts the volcano. They mentioned the volcano was on Oshima Island. I'm like, why do I know that name? They're like, yeah, Mount Mihara. I'm like, why do I know Mount Mihara? Godzilla, 1985.
Mm,
They make Godzilla go to Oshima Island, and
wow.
they make him go in the volcano at Mount Mihara. And I was like, oh, this is so fucking cool.
No way. Look at
Yes,
that. A
I could
Godzilla
not
connection.
believe I connected those dots. I felt so cool and so accomplished.
Mhm.
Another funny part for me, like there's a part where the mom and the kid, they're like driving in the car and they pull up to the house, right? And the kid gets out of the driver's seat, runs to the grandpa, and I'm like, oh man, this kid was driving the car, and then I forgot because I must have
Yeah.
stoned that the driver's seat is on the other side. So like it's funny, the car pulls up, stops, and the kid immediately runs out. I'm like, oh shit, that kid was driving the
You're like,
ah
he's really put together. The American version, he's only making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, but in this one, he's driving cars. That's
put the weed
amazing.
down, Shawn. Stop.
So let's get to the meat and potatoes of this. Let's get to the out of the screenness of this. So we get it's not Samara in this, but
Hmm.
we get her coming out of the TV. And one part of it that I liked better in the Japanese version is that we really see the missing fingernails and like the
Hmm.
pink skin where the fingernails used to be. I thought
Hmm.
that was very, very cool.
So it's not
But
Samara, it's Sadako in this, I
yes,
think. Yeah.
yeah. I didn't want to pronounce it incorrectly. I had a
I
note
yeah,
that
to
was
the
like,
best of
yeah, I'm
my
gonna butcher
ability.
this.
Yeah.
So, but I have to say that the the reveal in the American version I think is better, creepier, and obviously the effects are better, but like you can't take away the whole concept from the other one. That's all there already, right? That was their idea, which is really, really cool. But I thought that the fingernails thing was cool. And then I guess the reveal is like the one crazy eye reveal. I wrote crazy eye reveal in
It
my
is creepy. It is
yeah,
really
yeah,
creepy and well done. And I did like that. And it's like it's pretty much the same thing. She realizes that she copied the tape, and this thing is sort of like it follows. Like you're cursed till you pass it along, till someone else
yeah.
accept you instead of it. It's following them, and then you got 7 days to kill it. Like it was kind of like a similar story to that, which was cool. But then yeah, so this thing pops out or whatever. So then the ending, like I guess, like
Mhm.
so and I was trying to figure it out. I had to rewind to like understand what the hell was happening. So she gets the grandfather involved in this at the end, right?
Yeah, so she's in the car and she's essentially well, she calls him and says, "Hey, you got to do something for I forget the kid's name, right? You got to do something for him." And then she gets in the car and there she's got the tape. I think she has a VCR there too, maybe. But she's taking the tape for the grandfather to watch, so he'll die instead of the kid.
But then
Brutal.
she tells the
Brutal.
grandfather to like, hey, if you pass it on to somebody else, you're good.
Yeah, it's a brutal ending. You just see her driving with the tape and
And
that's
it's
pretty
kind
rough.
of a similar ending to the American one because it's like, who's gonna get it next? It might be you,
I
but
know, but in
watch
this
your
case,
baby.
she's passing it on to the to her dad first. Like that's you're getting another. They're not good people in any of these
Yeah,
versions of this
yeah,
movie at
yeah.
all. I do like. I do like the tone of the Japanese version a lot of times, and I feel like having now seen it, that there are parts of the American version, and just said this a few minutes ago, but I want to reiterate it that they didn't need to follow the Japanese tone because it didn't fit in. They kind of shoehorned it in a couple spots where I felt like you could have just kind of did your own thing. The guy didn't need the student that he was having an affair with or the girlfriend on the side. Like I think there was other things they could have done with it. They did something by having the innkeeper in there and everything, but I also think that the score was much better in the American version than the Japanese version. But there is something to that freeze frame shot of the people all like freaked out. That was that was something else. I'm happy I saw it. It's not something. I mean, I don't know that I revisit The Ring anyway,
Mm-hmm.
but I love. There's a lot of Japanese films that I
Yeah.
absolutely
I
love.
feel like this podcast helps like ground me in culture a little more.
Mhm.
Like I don't probably would have never watched Nosferatu 1922 if it wasn't for this. Like I like being able to be like, oh yeah, I watched original Nosferatu, I
Mm.
watched the original Ring. Not only that, like I kind of know a lot of shit about it too. I reviewed it like pretty much in depth. So yeah, I really dig that like and all the movies that will come up that were like, I've never seen this, so let's check it
Mhm.
out and see what happens.
And just so you know, anyone listening, eventually I'm going to get Sean into some Akira Kurosawa films, but they are long films
Ooh,
and they are very heavy,
oh,
like Seven Samurai, and so we need to wait on that Hidden Fortress, but
killing me,
because
Smalls.
there'll be a lot of work, and I got to get through Sean through a busy time in his life before I have him watching some
Oh,
super
we're
long
still
movies.
doing a lot of work. Trust you
Yes,
that. Trust you
but
that. Next week is nothing to be effed with.
yes,
No small task. I tell you
right.
what, the next couple of weeks of In Madness Pod are going to be one hell of a ride. I'll tell you what.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
But yeah, no, those
Yes.
big, heavy, long 3 hour, 4 hour interstellar
Yes.
type movies. Like, let's just keep it at like, let's pace ourselves, please, please, please.
Mm.
So that was
But
Ring.
we'll get
That
to
was the
him. We'll
original
get to
Ring.
him.
I felt good about it. I liked it. I probably won't watch it a million times. I'm watching The Ring a million more times.
Mm.
Love that movie. Still iconic. I feel like the original Ring walked so the American Ring could run down the well.
Wait, you
So
know what, Sean?
yeah,
You know
what's
what I
up?
got to do now
Uh,
that I got all this coffee in me? When we're done recording, maybe I should watch The Ring 2.
oh my god,
I
dreadful,
owe, I owe
dreadful.
you an Aiden
Just
count.
do an Aiden count. Aiden. Stop. I can't. Shall we dip into the mail sack? Mail sack.
Yes. Let's go for it.
Let's do it. So we got Hunter Higgins who writes us in madnesspod@gmail.com if you want to hit us in the mail sack. He says book club.
Mm.
Butcher Vertebrae, what's up? What's up, Hunter Higgins? Just wanted to holler about some audiobook stuff. I've been a huge audiobook fan for the last few years. I have recently listened to Stephen King's Dark Tower series. Made it up
Mm.
to book 5, Wolves of the Kala. Such a badass series. Have either of you read any of these? Rest assured, I have not. Vertebrae, have you?
I have not, but I will tell you, I'm going to name drop another podcast. If you want to listen to somebody deep dive, and he's just started a series where he's deep diving into those books, there's a podcast called Talking Scared, and Neil McRobert, the host, who we've talked to about coming on here. Fantastic podcast. I can blame him for all the recent books I bought because he keeps turning me on to new books, and he interviews authors, but he also does these deep dives, and he's doing a series on those books. And those books are so many pages that there's a part of me that might just listen to him do his deep dive into the series, because I don't know if Sean knows my buying habits and my stacks of unread books. So I don't know if I can get to it, but I've always wanted to. And I believe they're doing another like movie or TV series about it coming up that they're working on right now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think so.
Hunter also asks, are either of you into Lord of the Rings? I've been listening to the Fellowship of the Ring on audiobook currently, and its narration by Andy Serkis is nothing short of, he puts chef's kiss emoji. Your
Hmm.
pal, Hunter Higgins. Are you a Lord of the Rings guy?
I am. I mean, I read The Hobbit a long time ago when I was little, and I did read Lord of the Rings as well. And I was into the movies a lot when they came out. And there is actually a fantastic, we can tie it back into vinyl, but there's this incredible box set where they have the extended scores for all those films in that series. I didn't like the Hobbit series as much, the movies, as Lord of the Rings, but totally loved it. There's extended versions of the films, which I have, I think, on Blu-ray. But yeah, very cool.
I'm not a huge Lord of the Rings guy. There was the 3 main movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Me and my buddies did a 3-day smoke-a-thon because the third movie was coming out on the Friday, and I don't think I saw the first 2. So we
Mm-hmm.
did like Wednesday the first one, Thursday the second one, and then on Friday we went to the movies to see the third one. But like that was in like high school, and I'll be goddamned if I remember like any of it.
Yeah,
It was a
that's a
3-day
lot of movies.
smoke-a-thon, for Christ's sake. So yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean, it was cool to like do. It was like a cool marathon, fun watch to do. But yeah, like after that, I was not like going out and buying Lord of the Rings gear.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's one of those universes where if you really get into it and you just start peeling the layers back, there's so many other books to buy that go along with all the books and backstories and extensive, and I think for me, sometimes I just have to draw the lines somewhere, Shawn, because I can't. One, I don't have all the time in the world to get into all of them so deep. But Shawn knows this. This is one of the reasons the podcast started. Is when I get into something, I really get into it, and then I want to know more and more and more, and I want to own the record and the book and maybe the mug and dive into it and like kind of absorb into it. So that's kind of where this podcast came from. So I feel like that's something I always just kind of scratched the surface with, and periods of time would get more into it. But I could see, you could peer through the opening door and see on the other side, like, oh man, if you really wanted to get into it, there's this podcast, there's this website, there's these other books, and I've kind of stayed on the outside looking in.
Out of the millions and millions of In Madness emails, we have one more that we have handpicked. Scraping the toothbrush on the floor until it becomes a sharp pick. Watching the other inmates through the mirror he keeps in his cell. Keeping the soap on the rope wrapped tightly around his wrist till he's almost cutting off circulation. We have Charlie, straight from In Madness Penitentiary, still serving his life sentence for the spoiler alert crimes that he has committed against the world, sentenced to death on a date that we will decide on whenever we don't even remember that he's in there. Like sometimes we totally forget. We're like, have we sentenced him yet? And he's like, oh, I forgot he's even in there.
Time off for good behavior?
He has to clean the toilet bowls of the In Madness Penitentiary. That's his that's his reward for being like a good prisoner.
I think we should make him watch the remake of The Crow over and over.
He's doing hard time in Madness Penitentiary. We have our buddy Charlie, who addresses the VHS tracking issue in the ring.
Here we go.
What's up, Shawn the Butcher? He says, what's up, Shawn33 and Vertebrae the Butcher? Charlie, put another 100 years on the life sentence. Never getting out of there. Charlie the Spoiler Alert Kid, a.k.a. Chuck Yak, a.k.a. Chaz of Thumb, coming to you from the In Madness Penitentiary. The only gave me a little bit of email time each month, so you know it's worth it. And also, it's so boring. In the ring, they're adjusting the dial that affects the tracking of the VHS tape. It's impossible, and that adjustment won't let you see off the side of the frame of what was recorded. Tracking can't bend a frame to reveal an image like a lighthouse from outside of the recorded frame. That would be very cool, but that's just not how video cameras work. You can only capture what you record within that frame. Just like Michael Keaton captured our attention in the movie Birdman, which I'm pretty sure Naomi Watts was also in that movie, but once he wakes up in the hospital bed, wait, he jumps. I think this is another.
That's a spoiler. I've never seen Birdman, Shawn. I'm not
going to finish this sentence. I'm not going to finish. He says, but it's a cursed tape. That's so funny how he put a spoiler in the middle of it.
He slides it right into the middle of the conversation.
Put another 50 years on the life sentence.
You know what's crazy is I was going to cut his sentence short for such great knowledge.
He says it's a cursed tape. And how do we even know that it was shot with a camera? Good question, Charlie. Maybe
what was burned into it, maybe, right, Shawn?
He says maybe the tape is so evil and so cursed that it wasn't even recorded to begin with. It was an evil immaculation created, immaculate conception of evil. Consider future proofing and upscaling the tape to DVD or Blu-ray, possibly an Ultra 4K or streaming version of this. Now, does the Ring have a streaming service? Only $9.99. Cute, Charlie. Okay, he's got a little more here. The dial that Naomi Watts is adjusting is being monitored by a DC microsphere needle going off the charts, which really doesn't have anything to do with tracking on a VHS tape. Just like how Guy Pearce in Memento learns that it was
wait,
hold on.
wait.
I'm not finishing that sentence. Fucking Charlie. DC microamperes are in the VHS player's system. He's so funny, but they aren't used to adjust tracking. Tracking is the mechanical alignment of the head with the tape tracks and the VCR's ability to align that. DC would be running electricity to power servers or motors in the VCR. Charlie's a fucking genius. It's such a waste of a good life. Like he's so smart, but he's stuck cleaning toilet
must be
bowls.
something on movie Saturdays in the penitentiary. Like
It's
he's
just him by himself.
Projector and everything. Yeah, fantastic.
He's the A and the V club. Think of it this way: you adjust the car's steering wheel, tracking to stay on the road. The tape tracks. The engine speed, tape speed, is controlled by the accelerator, which receives a signal, DC voltage. The amount of electricity, microamperes, flowing through directly doesn't correspond to the tracking adjustment itself. Mind blown. Speaking of driving a car, Diane Driver by
wait,
hold on.
What movie is that though?
Mulholland Drive, he says. And he ends it with "Let me out." Charlie,
never.
I love you. Charlie is
never. We will never let you out. You're in there
Earth.
Forever. You're providing too much content.
He's got visitation rights. And conjugal visits. But that's it.
We'll have him on. We'll have him on soon. I feel like we should have him
strapped to the electric chair.
Just see how he is.
Electric chair. Oh, this can't be happening. Oh, come on. All right, we got to do Ride the Lightning Metallica.
Oh, nice. There you go.
You got to say, Charlie will appreciate that. That's it. inmadnesspod@gmail.com. You too could hit us in the mail sack with all of your smart knowledge. So we did have one more thing, but Vertebrae was like, no. We have another thing I want to do. So let us get into this.
We have to address this.
I'm not going to say it. You talk about it. Go ahead.
We have to address the Alien Earth trailer that dropped, Shawn, because I wanted to do an Instagram live, and you're a rock star and never available for those things anymore because, that's how the podcast was formed. Those were our roots. And you know what they say, Shawn, you can't forget your roots, bloody roots.
I think it's already on the playlist.
Come on.
If it's not, we'll add it.
We could just add H2O. Don't forget your roots. That H2O song. We could add that instead if you want. But so I thought, because I watched it a million times, but I did not take any notes. So I thought we could watch the Alien Earth trailer together and talk about it as we watch it and see what we think. Did you watch it?
I did. I watched it once. I kind of half-assed on my phone, but then I was watching TV and it popped up on my big screen. So I sat and watched it in my living room on the big screen, full through. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. So let's try this. Hopefully it works and we don't get kicked off whatever we're on for whatever. But screw it. We'll figure it out in post-production. So here, just let me know. I'm sharing the screen. Is the trailer for Alien Earth.
10, 9. 8, 7, 6.
Look at that. Old school Alien vibe.
3, 2, 1.
Heavy Prometheus.
How's our girl?
She's ready.
You're gonna be the first person to transition from a human body to a synthetic.
Because I'm special.
That's right. You're very, very special.
Pause it for a second.
We have a downed spacecraft.
Hold up.
I want what's on.
Already better than Romulus.
Hey,
like just going through it in the beginning. What do we have in the beginning? We have heavy old school Alien vibes, right? We're seeing what looks like it could be the inside of the Nostromo. Then we get clobbered with Prometheus vibes. And now we're going to talk about, making, somebody into an android. and like the sciencey kind of stuff. So this is going to be something.
Vertebrae loves them bits.
On that ship?
We can do it. We're fast. We're strong. We don't break.
It's like a zoo,
Sounds
but
like a
the animals
predator
got
to
out.
Yes, and that's
This ship collected 5 different
Five
life
life
forms from the
Oh,
darkest
it is a
corners of the
predator.
universe.
don't know.
Monsters.
Oh, is it a predator?
And there you go. We get the often sound. I don't know if it's a predator, Shawn, but I will tell you that 5 different opens it up for that to be a possibility down the line. Look at this goat, the most metal goat. He's more metal than Black Phillip.
Got a bunch of horns.
Invasive species.
This is like the Lex Luthor of the show.
Predatory.
Evil. There he is. Oh,
We don't lock them down.
look at this.
It will be too late.
Too late.
There it goes.
Too late. Oh boy. What's going on? Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
man.
Yes. I don't know how this is dropping. If it's dropping on a weekly basis, we have to figure out a way to watch this when it comes out and talk about it like
Yes.
immediately. We
Yes,
have to
on a
figure
weekly
it-
basis, we can try. We can try and do an emergency madness.
right, or just maybe that's when we launch our Patreon or something, and people could tune in or
Okay.
whatever. We'll figure it out. But I'm going to tell you that the first teaser, I was like, we'll see. Looks really cool. And
Remember
then
when we
this-
got like totally faked out with the fake
Yeah.
teaser that I thought was real?
Yes. But this looks fantastic. This looks like a combination of everything we've seen in the universe and some new stuff on top. And just even having the possibility that there's 4 other creatures that exist that aren't xenomorphs. Whether the predators or not doesn't even matter. Just that possibility unto itself is very, very, very cool. So I am all in on this show. Please do not disappoint me, but I am 100% all in on Alien Earth.
Our buddy Basil hit the In Madness DM super hard when I think you posted the trailer for this,
Mhm.
and he was like, "Please let it be good." And I was like, "We're praying with you, Basil. We're praying."
I think it's gonna. I got a good. I got a good feeling about this. Right? We're a few more clips into it, and we haven't gotten like any kind of like hokey lines or where they'll try to interject like some joke in the middle of it that seems to happen on the second or third trailer of movies. So I'm curious. There's been a lot of TV spots with some new footage. All of that footage looks incredible. All of the science fictionness of it looks good. It has heavy, and you did not see this series, but it has heavy Raised by Wolves vibes as well. And geez, if they could figure out a way to connect it to that somehow, that would be amazing. I still, when I pray to Cthulhu every week, I always ask him to bring Raised by Wolves back as a TV show. And someday Shawn will watch that show, and he will also be bummed out that it was canceled. But I think this looks fantastic. Fantastic.
I'm in for that and emergency pods and like a little quick half hour, just blip, just like we did with Ringu, just like we did with the In Madness mail sack, just like we did with Alien Earth. Are we ready? Are we ready, friends?
We got a vote.
We have a couple of votes, and
Okay.
it's a surprise. It's a surprise to me.
All right, refresh our memory on what the vote was
So
about.
here's what we did. We decided we did The Ring, a heavy movie. So we wanted to go like a little left. Sometimes we like going completely left on In Madness. Just 2.5 years. It's fun to just go crazy sometimes. So, and a new feature we've added is letting you psychopaths vote for what movie we're going to do. So we're like, let's do something fun and something crazy and something lighthearted that isn't. The Ring. So immediately I've had this waiting in my back pocket for a while, and I slapped it down like a an ace of spades, and I was like, Mortal Kombat. I want to do Mortal Kombat. Let's do it. So you had your back pocket ace up your sleeve, and a movie that you have been telling me about for a long time. You wanted to cover Malignant. Boom, you slapped that one down, and I'm like, well, what are we gonna do it for a third? And you're like, well, I love a good theme. And since we have Mortal Kombat and Malignant, let's pick another M. Hence the reason Crash Test Dummies is now on the In Madness Spotify playlist. And the only other M movie we had on our very well organized Excel spreadsheet was Monster Squad. So we took to our socials and left it up to our multi-tentacled family to choose the movie. And here are the results. Drum roll, please. So first on our Instagram story, for Malignant, we got 4 votes. For Mortal Kombat, we got 4 votes. And for Monster Squad, we got 3 votes. That was just on the story. Then we had the actual Instagram post. You could vote anywhere, folks. On the post, we had 5 for Malignant. We had 2 for Mortal Kombat, and we had 4 for Monster Squad. All right. You're doing your math at home. On Facebook, in the comments there, we had 1 for Malignant. We had 3 for Mortal Kombat, and we had 1 for Monster Squad. On our Twitter, we had 4 for Malignant. We had 8 for Mortal Kombat. Had 4 for Monster Squad. And on the personal Vertebrae33 poll, his results were 8 for Malignant, which he totally could have fixed those numbers.
No.
We had 8 for Mortal Kombat. You see how he left it the same just so I couldn't accuse him of fixing it. So he gave my movie the exact same amount of votes. And he had 6 for Monster Squad. So if you are at home doing your math in your head, carry the 1, add 3, add 10 years to Charlie's life sentence in Madness Penitentiary. And your final votes are 18 for Monster Squad, coming in last place, which was a shock to me because I thought I saw the majority of comments for Monster Squad. In second place with 22 votes, Malignant, Vertebrae33's movie. So with that, our next movie is going to be my favorite, baby. Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
Really?
Success. Victory. Sweet victory. Come on, Patrick.
Excited about Mortal Kombat, Shawn?
Back me up, Patrick. Sweet. Wait, what's that? What is that?
I don't know, Shawn.
What's going
You hear
on?
something?
Sounds like an anniversary to me.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
This seems like it could be bad.
This isn't good, Shawn.
What does this mean? Wait, what about Mortal Kombat? What happened to Mortal Kombat?
I think something ate Mortal Kombat.
Well, I might regurgitate it the week after. Yeah.
It's gonna spit it out. But Shawn,
what the hell's going on? Wait, Mortal Kombat, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Sonya, Kano, my friends. They're coming.
Yeah.
Where I've red cups. We got beer pong set up for them.
Unfortunately, Shawn.
What?
Unfortunately.
What?
The beaches are closed.
No, not for the 4th of July.
But the podcast is open.
No. That's really good.
To celebrate a 50th anniversary.
Wow. Wait, hold on. Wait. So next week we're celebrating a 50th anniversary. A big one. But after that, we'll do Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I'll make
We
everybody
can't-
vote again until it's Malignant. No, I'm just kidding.
We can't let the family down. We got to
No,
give. them
after
the
that
movie
is
to
Mortal
put-
Kombat for sure, 100%. So for the first time in the history of this podcast, you now know 2 movies in a row. That has never happened before. 115 episodes in, we finally dropped that to you. We zigged when you thought we'd zag, and we appreciate everyone voting, but it's also time for us to get out our birthday hats and our floaty devices and go skinny dipping and celebrate the 50th anniversary.
I'm not gonna have that damn Kittner boy spill out all over the dock.
Something to look forward to for everybody.
Wow. So get the popcorn ready. Get yourself ready. If you don't know what we're talking about, I mean, get real. It's a big one next week, folks, and we're doing it for you. We're doing it for us. We're doing it for the In Madness family. And then we're gonna do Mortal Kombat, all right? Because Sub-Zero's he give me the evil eye now. He's gonna rip my head off. I have my spine dangling in front of Shang Tsung. I can't have it. So we got 2 movies now, you psychopaths. No, with another Inside Madness in between.
Yep.
But this was a fun one. You got all your bits in for Inside Madness episode 115.
Absolutely. Thank you everyone for listening. First, Shawn, I want to show you what I'm wearing today. I didn't show you, but check this out on YouTube. This is a new shirt. Uh-oh. Can we see it?
Yep. Put the mic down. Yeah. Now available at Hot Topic. Check us out on YouTube in Madness Pod.
Got the new Vertebrae33 pink skull, drippy eyes, hard eyes shirt at Hot Topic. There's got 3 new shirts at Hot Topic right now and a few really cool things in the works as well. Something I text Shawn about the other day that hopefully is going to see the light of day in September. And then we can talk about it then. We're just kind of working out, dotting the T's and crossing the I's, as the kids say, Shawn.
And dotting all the lowercase J's. Shout out to Wayne's World. That's going to be in a voting poll eventually.
Yes.
And with that, my friends, my family, we will see you next week for a thrilling big episode 116. You're going to need a bigger boat in Madness Pod.